Just hang on. Line the body up. Okay, so welcome everybody to this week's call, Dr. Joseph Ahrens, and we've got some amazing guests on today. It's Testimonial Week, and it's one of my favourite weeks, I have to honestly say. Beyond the fact that we do have the esteemed Dr. Joseph Ahrens, dual-nominated Nobel Prize scientist, and the formula behind products that we have with Emulin and also 24/7. And with the people that we have today, they're going to be sharing 3 very powerful testimonials on their own personal experiences and the symptoms that they have noticed. And I would like to just say this right from the beginning, with this call being testimonials, we are not making any claims to heal, cure, and or fix anything. These are just people's personal testimonials. So firstly, I'd like to welcome Dr. Ahrens to the call. So how are you? He's disappeared on me. Told you he's jumping all over the place on me. Somewhere. Dr. Ahrens, are you here in the house? All right, so Kenny, we might get started and we'll wait for Dr. Ahrens. A little bit of technical issues happening there for us. So I'd like to welcome our first guest. He's a very good friend and has a very good sense of humour, and this is the beauty of this industry, of being able to, as I've heard so frequently in the last couple of weeks, where strangers become friends and friends become family. And, there's certain people that you do become, you feel like you've known them for years. And thankfully, these 3 people that are on this call tonight that are going to share their testimonials are exactly that. They have become friends. And so I welcome you, Kenny, to the call, Mr. Kenny Gatts, and I'd love you to be able to tell us how you are today before we get started into listening to your testimonial.
All right. Well, Jackie, I appreciate your kind words. You're an amazing leader yourself. You inspire me every time I see your posts on Facebook and every time I see you on one of the Zooms. So, you're an amazing lady, and Dr. Joe's got his hands on somebody really special. So I'm doing great myself. I'm doing great today. This is beautiful. It's a snowy day in Ohio. We still have snow on the ground, but it's probably a little bit warmer where you're at, Jackie.
Absolutely. So I'm going to mute myself, Kenny, and I shall let you start and tell us your personal testimonial and what your experiences have been in regards to how you've noticed that symptoms have changed for you, because I know your story is very powerful. So if you'd love to share that with us, that would be great.
All right. Well, I actually met Dr. Joe last March in Las Vegas. He probably doesn't remember it, but it's been pretty amazing what's happened to my life, Dr. Joe, since I started getting on your product.
Thank you.
But what happened was back in December of 1999, I was in a really bad car wreck, and I was actually ejected out of a vehicle, and I shattered a vertebrae in my back. Actually, the front half of it exploded into pieces, and I folded at the bottom of my rib cage instead of at the waist, and it blew up my vertebrae. And then I also had the front driver's wheel fold up into the floorboard and busted up my feet really bad. And I had 5 screws put in my left foot, broke 5 bones in my right foot. And needless to say, that was 20 years ago. And they put me back together. They made me a vertebrae out of my hip. It's been pretty amazing what's happened in 6 months' time. I was back to work. I mean, it was truly amazing. The things that the amazing accomplishments that they've done in medical now is just truly amazing. But the bottom line was, even though I was back together, even though I was in the mend and I was healing, and you hit that point where you just kind of plateau, and you say, this is it. This is what I got to live with the rest of my life. And arthritis was one of those things that was really, eating me up pretty badly. I mean, it was eating at all my joints. It was eating at my back. It was eating at my hip area where they cut the bone off my hip. My feet were in bad shape. You carry yourself on your feet every day. And it was just amazing how you jump up and you put 200 plus pounds on your feet every day, not to mention all the work I was doing in construction. It was tearing me up, just to say the least. And I met Dr. Joe when he introduced 24/7 to our company. And this was prior to us actually getting the Emulin products. I actually met Jana Jorgensen and Dr. Joe in a lounge at the Vegas Hotel. And Dr. Joe just so happened to give me a link where I could pick up some of his Emulin. And I had no clue. I mean, I was sitting across from Dr. Joe, and I really didn't even know who he was. This was prior to the event even starting, and I really didn't know who he was. I knew Jana, and all I knew was Jana was a great lady, and I knew she knew. If she said Dr. Joe was a great guy, I was all in with it, So I took Dr. Joe's link home with me, and I ordered 6 bottles of Emulin. And needless to say, it changed my life because I'd been living with naproxen and Celebrex and glucosamine chondroitin and all the other good stuff that everybody uses to try and battle arthritis, and nothing ever took my arthritis away. I was taking mangosteen, supplements and all kinds of things trying to alleviate the arthritis, but and even reduce my levels to a certain point, and then my body would get used to them, and I'd be back blown away with it again. And it's nothing ever took it away. And Dr. Joe told me, this was a product that to give it 90 days is what he said to me to begin with. That's the reason I went ahead and ordered 6 bottles. I'm willing to give it anything to try and get rid of this. And I come home and I started taking the product, and it was, I just kept taking it. I've had faith in what was going on, and I just kept taking the product. And one night I was upstairs on a webinar about 10 o'clock at night, and I come running down the stairs after the webinar was over. And like I say, my feet were one of the worst things. And I gimped up and down the stairs like an 80-year-old man most of the time. But I come running down the stairs that night, and I got to the bottom, and I was like, I looked at my wife and I said, "Oh my God, did you just see that? What the heck is going on?" And from that day forward, I mean, that was the moment that I realized this product was working for me. And there was a moment when we had a little complication on getting some product, and I went about 3-4 days without the Emulin, and that's when you realize how bad you need this product in your body, because once you start getting the effects of this, and it's taken my arthritis away. I mean, I'm not trying to say that this has cured my arthritis. I'm just telling you it's gave my body what it needed, and my arthritis is gone. And I'm so happy. And, it's like I say, I mean, to live with arthritis, you just got to know what that feels like. If you haven't, you don't understand. But if you've lived with arthritis, it's a matter of major inflammation of the joints, and it just tears you up. It gets you to a point where you feel so bound up that you feel like if you move any farther, you're going to snap. And that's something I haven't had to deal with now for well over a year. And I just want to thank you again, Dr. Joe. I'm going to jump off here because I can yabber all night. But I appreciate you. I appreciate what you've done for our company, brother. And we're so blessed to have you in our family.
Well, Kenny, I really thank you. Yes, I do remember you, because I wondered how could a guy survive that kind of a car crash when they pulled you apart, how they could distinguish between the car parts and your own self. I mean, especially that wheel tucked in underneath your feet. Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, I do remember that. I do. And I do thank you for trusting me at that time. But, you're an excellent example of what Emulin is all about. Emulin does not cure any diseases, but everybody needs it for their own body to function properly. It's your body that healed itself. And that's all of us have that potential, but unfortunately, we do not get enough of this stuff in our diet. Emulin is like a vitamin, and it's required to manage the immune system, and the immune system includes the healing process. So all those products you were taking are good and necessary, all the chondroitin, etc. Those are the little building blocks that you need to rebuild your body, but you need to have the manager there. The products that manage those things going in to rebuild your body. And you can rebuild vertebrae, you can rebuild joints, tendons, you name it. Your body has that potential. Unfortunately, over the last 100,000 years or so, we've bred this Emlyn products out. They're not magic. This is not something that we found in the middle of the Saudi Arabian desert somewhere, or something dripping off of icebergs in Antarctica. These things should be in our diets. And when we do have them in a normal amount in our diet, when you do break bones, instead of it taking 2, 3, 4 months, your bones will knit and just
I think we may have got a frozen Dr. Ahrens at this point in time. So what we might do, I'm not quite sure if he can actually hear us or not, but I will say, and we'll see if we can get him to come back on. But, Kenny, from my point of view, and just with my experience with Emlyn, again, it's amazing. And it really is something that you listen to somebody's test. Oh, he's back.
So here I'm back. I think that everyone is at home, and I think that Zoom is just overloaded because I've got a real strong local signal, but I think that Zoom just can't manage all this traffic. Anyway, I was saying, Kenny, that you're an excellent example, and this is not magic. We don't heal everything. We just supply your body what it needs to do what it knows how to do. You're a perfect example. But I also want to thank you personally for having faith in us. There's a lot of snake oil on the market. I get it. It took you a while, but some people, it's just a matter of days. If you're dealing with like high blood sugar issues, you'll notice in just a couple of days the change. And that's what I hear a lot about from people, though. They take the product for a month, 2 months, 3 months. They don't know if they were helped or not. All of a sudden they get off of it, and then wham, they realize, wow, that's a big deal difference. So we're working to keep a supply in the market and to get them to people like you that need them. Thank you very much.
One thing that I didn't do, Dr. Joe, was something that you explained to a lot of people after I actually got the product, was the initial dosing. When you talked about the initial dosing, I think when someone is in bad shape, and I've noticed it even since then, when I have a day where I start feeling a little bit, I'll take a little bit extra, and it does make a difference. But that doing that 6 capsule initial dose is something that I didn't do. I just started off with the 2 a day. I wish I would have done the 6 a day. I guarantee you I would have noticed that, a whole lot sooner than I did. But, and now that I do know that, I do, what do you call that? What's that dose called?
Saturated.
Saturated, that's it. And that's what I do with everybody now. When I'm introducing this to people, I make sure that if they have issues, get on the saturated dose right off the get-go and get this stuff in your body. Like Dr. Joe said, you haven't had it in your body and you've needed it for so long, get it in there where you can make it do some good.
Well, young Kenny, I want to thank you so much. And as I said, like your story is an inspiration. And I know as we share this with others after this call, I just really want to thank you, because sharing your own personal testimony is something that is personal, and it is going to be going out to the world. So I want to thank you, my friend, and I look forward to hearing what goes on for you in your life later on, and we'll bring you back on.
All right. Thank you, mate.
Okay, so Katrina, the next lady that we have that's coming on board again is another amazing lady, Katrina Young. And, again, it's through this amazing network of friends that we have, and we all have a passion for, for certain things that we're doing. And in this particular instance, it is the brilliance of what Dr. Ahrens is bringing to the world with Emlyn and 24/7. And our next guest is the beautiful Katrina Young. And I think her story I'm going to pull my tissues out, because I know that her story is very amazing. So how are you, Katrina?
I am doing great. Thank you, Jackie, for having me on here. And I think you were the first one that I started reading your testimonies on your Facebook. And that's when I said, okay, I've really got to look at this. So I got that bottle the first time we could order it through the company, and got started taking it. So Dr. Joe, I cannot even thank you enough. And I'm going to tear up here. I can't thank you enough for this product. I thank you for the time that you've spent year after year trying to fine tune this to get this to exactly where it needed to be. so that it would really help us and give me my life back. In the summer, a year ago in the summer, when I got my first bottle, the first thing I noticed when I started taking Imulin was I have neuropathy in my feet. And sometimes I'll just jump out of bed in the morning and it's like that burning, tingling feeling in my feet. And I can go in and take a couple of Imulin, and within 30 minutes, it's all gone and everything's great. So anyways, that's kind of where I started with Imulin. But to back it up, I didn't really realize what this would do for my back. I probably 11 years ago started just having my back for no particular reason. I wouldn't fall. I wouldn't hit anything. And all of a sudden I'd just be walking down my hall and pop, and my back would be out. And I would go from standing upright to bent over like an old lady walking around and just in horrific pain. So this has gone on for years. And my dad had back problems as well. So I just remember, because he died 5 years ago, and he was trying to get out of this back pain. And it was after a surgery that he passed away. And so that's always in my mind, because he said to me, he said, "You're too young for this to be starting, that you have back problems like he kind of did. And it radiates down your hip and into your leg, and it hurts. I mean, it's just like it just really can take the wind out of you." So I watched my dad as he declined all these years, and I just was like, I cannot believe I'm going this way, because as soon, I mean, it's like I'm active and I do everything until the point that my back pops, and then it goes out on me. And then I would go for about 2 to 4 weeks just in pain. And every time it had gone out before Imulin, I would have to get on a steroid pack. And then they would send me, I would do physical therapy and manual therapy to get to the root of what was going on. And then I would also, they would send me to a pain management doctor, and I would get injections in my back. And usually it would take 3 injections, 2 weeks apart on each of those injections. And then I would finally get out of pain. And then I would just start life back over, and I'd go from old lady back to young lady. And my last name is Young. And when I was teaching school, the kids would always tease me about, "We're going to come back someday, and you're going to be old, but you're still going to be Mrs. Young." And I said, yeah. And so I've always thought about that whenever I would have these, backs going out on me. I would think, oh my goodness, I really am going to be old. And so anyways, all of that to say, I would go through this probably 2 to 4 weeks of finally getting out of pain. And so finally, in October a year ago, my back popped out again on me. And I literally, my husband took me to urgent care, and I have never in my life been in so much pain as that night, or that day when I went over to urgent care. And I got in there, and it was horrible to even sit down to wait. And then as soon as they called my name to get up to go back to the room, I thought, I'm not going to get out of this chair. It was the worst pain I have ever felt in my life. And I thought, it's over. My life, as I've known it up to this point, it's over. And I'm really going to have to look into surgery, because there's no way at all that I'm going to get out of this pain, because it was the worst I'd ever had. So we leave out of the urgent care, and my husband was in front of me, and I was holding on to him. And I said, "John, I guess this is what life is going to be like." I said, "I can see why old people have to use a walker." I mean, I was literally, my whole weight was on him. I couldn't even lift my leg to get into the car without horrific pain. And I thought it's all over. So I came home, and I had muscle relaxers, I had steroid pack, and they said, "Go see your primary doctor that week," because this was a Sunday. And so I said, "Okay, I will do this." And so I went on that Monday to talk to my doctor, and I just said, "I guess send me to a surgeon. There's no way this is gonna change at all. I'm in that much pain. And I said, and I need to go to physical therapy. I need, I said, call the, refer me to the pain management doctor. I'm going to have injections. I know. So so they started the ball rolling. The doctor did on all of that. And then I came back home. Well, that Sunday I came home and I literally started 6 to 8 Imulin every day, along with the steroid pack and along with the muscle relaxers. And literally, I was blown away. I'm a true believer. I will never, ever, ever, ever go without Imulin, because 5 days into this, I'd been to my doctor, but 5 days into this, I was out of pain and I was totally blown away. I was like, I am a believer. There is nothing that's going to stop me from sharing this with the world, because I didn't even have the belief in it, even starting to take it. I just thought, why not? I'm going to add this in. So I went to physical therapy, or my manual therapist. I went to see her probably 3 times total, and that would not have been the case before. I never went to get my injections like I had the 3 different injections 2 weeks apart. I never had to have one of those. And I never went to talk to a back surgeon to figure out what we were going to do, or a neurosurgeon to figure out what I was going to do about my back. So literally, this has taken my fear away that I have to walk the same path my dad walked. I just thought I was doomed that Sunday in October a year ago, that I just thought, I'm doomed. I'm headed the same direction. So thank you, Dr. Ahrens. I cannot even, I don't even know how you could thank somebody enough for giving me a life back. And my back has never gone out this rest of this year. If I feel even a twinge of thinking, oh my goodness, there's a little bit of pain in the bottom of my back, it's the lower back, I just start that saturated dose, 6 to 8 pills that day, and I'm usually fine. And now I just kind of maintain between 2 and 4 pills every day of the capsules of Imulin, because that's about all I ever need. So I can't thank you enough, Dr. Ahrens.
Well, that is a thank enough for me. This is why we do it. My own uncle was similar. He had to get a knee replacement, so much pain, and he lined up to get a knee replacement. And so he went in to get and I said, look, why don't you just try this Imulin here? A prophet is not welcome in their own village. That's an old saying. So none of my family believe I know what I'm doing. I said, hey, come on, try it. I'll give it to you free. You got nothing to lose. It's all natural ingredients. So he said, hey, okay. So he went in to get an MRI right before his surgery, and his doctor says, you don't have any arthritis in this knee. Completely gone. And Imulin, I know you think it's a miracle. Everybody thinks, no, it just lets your body do what your body knows how to do. It just doesn't have the raw materials, the manager, the healing system manager. And this is what Imulin does, whether it's blood sugar or your cartilage, or you talked about, the neuropathy. Your body knows what to do. And the immune system is what handles all this stuff. And inflammation is part of that, good inflammation. And Imulin just manages that. It tells your body how to heal itself, really. And you're a perfect example. And, if it was 1,000 years ago, you would have never needed Imulin. You would just it would have been in your diet. And just like vitamin C is necessary for bone health and vitamin D for calcium health, Imulin is just like a vitamin. Everybody needs it. And I thank you very much for being here and sharing that, because we just need to get the word out. That's really what we need. I'm even surprised at this remarkable discovery.
Yeah, I was blown away. I already loved it, but it was at that point that after it basically got me through that week. And then, like I'm saying, it's over a year now and no problems with my back. So I cannot thank you enough. Thank you for pushing through. And like you said about family, thank you for pushing through even when it's not welcome. And just doing what you did. I can't thank you so much.
Katrina, I just, I'm sure there's other people in here that had a tear, because I know I did. I choked up just listening to you. And for one reason and another, but no more so than for watching the pain and watching the heartfelt emotion that you shared with us. And again, I just want to thank you so much, because being able to share that like that, and have the courage to be able to share something that's so personal. I just want to really thank you so much, my friend, because this is not only benefiting you, it's also through your story, it's going to benefit others, whoever we share this with, that get the benefit to be able to watch this. So thank you so much. And I wish you good health as you go forward. Yeah.
Thank you, Jackie. And I think that's one thing I would say, is that it gives you hope. Like I'm saying, I think a lot of times we think genetically we are just doomed to a certain thing because our parents had it or whatever. And so this just proved to me, you get your body working and functioning correctly, and you don't have to say generationally, this is what happened, and so I'm going to be just like that. So yes, that's what it does. It gives me hope, and hope that I can share with others.
So what's going to happen, as I thank you, and we're going to bring on the beautiful May Bonnin, is that when we're all able to get together, we're all going to do a big celebration dance. So thank you so much, Katrina.
You are welcome.
Okay, the beautiful May Bonnin, would you like to unmute yourself for us? And what an inspirational lady this lady is, and a young lady, and a beautiful one at that too. I thank you, and I welcome you to the call, May.
Wow, thank you so much for having me here, Jackie, and Dr. Joe Ahrens. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm here, and I'm so glad you are with Valentis. So I am a nurse practitioner here in Bakersfield, California, and I just want to share with you guys my experience with the Emulin. So about a year ago, I had a bowel obstruction, and so I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. So I had a bowel resection. They cut 12 inches of my small intestine. It's because of the adhesions that I had from my previous surgery. More than 15 years ago, I had an appendectomy and had a bowel ileus. So they cut, I developed scar tissue from there. And so anyway, last year, after my surgery, I got discharged already, and I didn't listen to other people because they told me to start taking Emulin, but I was so scared to do anything. I was so scared to put anything in my body, even eating. I was scared. And so I was kind of better because I went home already. And then I developed an abscess on my surgical site. And so I went to the doctor because it was oozing. I was given antibiotics for 1 week, and it was still there. So I went back to my doctor again, and then I was given another round of antibiotics, and I asked, okay, so what's going to happen if it's still oozing, if it won't heal? And then the doctor said, of course, I'm going to have another operation. So I was like, I was so scared. I don't want to have another operation. And then after a week, it's still there, like nothing happened. And that was the time when I started taking the Emulin. And then in 2 days, to my surprise, it healed. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's just the Emulin. And then I went back to the doctor, and he said, oh yeah, you don't need any more operation. You're fine. So I was so amazed with the Emulin. And then also, I am Filipino. So I eat rice 3 times a day. I eat white rice, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And to my surprise, I was pre-diabetic. And so, of course, I was taking the Emulin, and my labs now, my A1C is now normal. So, and then also, whenever I feel like getting sick, one time I went to Vegas, and then everybody got sick, and I was feeling sick already. And then I got home, I took 4 Emulin, and then the following day, I was fine. So, and then a lot of my members, they have diabetes, and their blood sugar has been controlled. So actually, I have the IR here, and she loves Emulin. She posts about Emulin every day because her blood sugar now is like on the hundreds. It was never like that with medication, but with Emulin, it's been controlled. So thank you so much, Dr. Joseph Ahrens, for this amazing discovery, the Emulin.
Well, I thank you very much for that testimony, and you're just another example. So, you know, we talked about previous testimonies were about joints, and you're talking about your intestinal lining, and it's actually the same system. Your immune system repairs itself. I actually, a decade ago, myself had Crohn's disease, which is very similar to IBS. You know, it's only the difference is whether the lesions are sitting on the surface of the epithelial wall or they're embedded down into the tissue. Who cares? It's the same stuff. It's horrible. Your body, though, can repair itself. And that's what Emlyn does. It's just the manager of the repair crew in your body. And also, it's tightly related to blood sugar because refined sugars, and you know, modern day white rice is a refined sugar. It's just like actually table sugar or white bread. Your body sees that as a poison and then goes into an inflammatory response. And if you don't have an inflammation manager, the immune system manager there, it goes out of control and actually starts attacking its own self, including the epithelial lining of the small and large intestine. So it doesn't matter if it's IBS or if it Crohn's disease or arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, or asthma or psoriasis. These are all immune system problems. And I know people get confused on that. I'll say it again. Immune system is the repair system. So it's attack and cleanup of whatever is attacking you, whether it's a virus or a wound or acids in your body. Then it also takes care of the initial problem, and then it starts the repair system. And if the manager is not there, it goes haywire. Just like an out of control car going downhill with full speed. A lot of drugs we take now are superficial. Like you have a runaway car, instead of adjusting the carburetor and the gas going in the motor, you put the brakes on. Well, you can get the car under control, but then the brakes burn up. And what you need is the original treatment that nature intended. You need to get enough inulin in your body. It's just like a vitamin. And I really thank you for this testimony because it shows another facet of how your body can repair itself. So inulin does not treat any disease. It just supports your immune system. Everybody needs it, from babies in the womb, through the mother in the womb. And once the baby is born, as soon as it starts taking solid food, you need to give it some inulin, just like you make sure that it gets enough vitamin C, vitamin A, A, D, E, K, all of them. You need to have inulin in there. I give it to my granddaughters. You know, I feed them that terrible poison stuff, that cereal, and then also make sure they get enough inulin. So thank you very, very much for this testimony.
Okay, so thank you so much, May. Just a brilliant testimony as well. I want to thank Dr. Ahrens, but if I can thank everybody collectively. Kenny, I want to thank you so much for a testimony that we all are going to be very grateful to be able to share with others. Katrina, I still have my tears sitting here because you did reduce me to tears. Like, what a powerful testimony that you gave. And May, yours in regards to where you've given us 2 areas of symptoms that so many people suffer with. So to be able to have people share on a monthly call like this, it's invaluable. And it really is. And the number one person that I really do want to thank that's on this call is Dr. Joseph Ahrens, because without you, Dr. Ahrens, none of us would be experiencing what we are, and none of us would be living life better without the product that you have brought to our doors. So I want to thank you so much on behalf of myself, but for everybody else that's here. So thank you.
I thank you very much because, science is necessary. We did run clinicals. There's clinicals going on all around the world right now. Actually, there's a clinical that just got finished with COVID. And we have some sports clinicals going on in Australia. We've had some blood sugar clinicals already done in the US, and these are published papers. Well, that's great. But you know what really hits home with the testimonials? And because that's where the rubber hits the road. That's where you really see it. And I'm thankful for everyone who came on tonight. And in the future, I look forward to hearing more.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ahrens. And to finish this call off today, next month we do have another testimonial to set off the month of January and 2021. But also in Dr. Ahrens' Facebook page, there is a document in there in the file section. So if you're wanting to submit your personal testimony to help us help you and help others throughout the globe, please submit it in, because stories do tell exactly how much that symptoms can be changed without actually saying that we're healing, curing, or fixing anything. So thank you, everybody. I've also put in the chat line there that the info@drjosephahrens.com. Send your questions in for next week's call. It's Q&A week next week. So if you've got any questions that you'd like to have answered, just email them through to that email that I've put in the chat line. And I want to thank you on behalf of myself and also Dr. Ahrens for providing his valuable time to all of us. And again, to Kenny and to Katrina and May. Thank you so much and have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
Dr. Ahrens. We love you.
Appreciate your time. Thank you, Dr. Joe.
Thank you, Dr. Joe.
So, you know, the corporate call is on the hour too, guys, so make sure you jump onto there, because I know there's going to be some interesting, wonderful things. And if you're involved in Val Tribe, that's on the following half an hour after that. So there's never any shortage of support. So make sure you do that.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jackie.
Jackie. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Ahrens.
Somebody's
Thank you.
asking about psoriasis. Jerry, yes. The answer is yes.
Hello, Miss May.
Thank you, Jackie.
Bye.
Jane.
Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Bye.